Hi again. So today we're going to talk about third declension. I'm going to start out by again writing up a list of nouns that belong to each declension for review, and then we're going to add the third declension to that list. Okay, so let me start things out with the list. So, for review, first declension, I'll just give you an example of each one, and last time I used silwa, so I'll use that again. Silwa, silwai, feminine, forest. And I'm going to go ahead and just circle the endings of that, the nominative and the genitive, just so that you remember what endings you need to see in order for it to be a first declension noun. Okay, so next up, second declension masculine. And remember, masculine and neuter in the second declension have two different endings. So for masculine, I'll use filius, like I did last time, or I think I did. Filius, filii. Sorry, there's two I's. Filii. Masculine, and it means son. Okay, and then let me circle the endings again. So us, e, is for second declension masculine. Now second declension neuter. And I'll give you the example of bellum, belly, neuter, war. Okay, and as you can tell, the endings for that are going to be and e. Okay, so now to add third declension onto that list. I'll give you a few third declension nouns, and hopefully you'll be able to detect a pattern. Okay, so third, and I'll give you a few nouns again. So the first one, I'll use nomen. Nomen. Nominous, feminine, or excuse me, that one is neuter. Neuter, and it means name. Okay, so now for another. Pars, partis, feminine, part. And another one, nox, noctis, feminine, and it means night. Okay, and then finally for the last one, rex, regis, masculine, and it means king. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to detect a pattern. So you can tell that the pattern here is that all the genitives end in is. So nominous for the genitive, partis for pars, noctis, and regis. All the genitives end in is. However, as hopefully you detected, there's really no pattern for the nominative. It turns out that the nominative is irregular. The nominative has different endings for each of the words. Okay, so this has one significant implication when it comes to finding your stem. When it comes to first and most second declension nouns, you can find the stem by removing either the nominative or the genitive ending. There's just a minor adjustment for third declension. With third declension nouns, you can only look to the genitive for your stem since the nominative case is irregular. Okay, so now we can go ahead and go over the endings for each case. And again, I'll draw the chart as usual. And you can go along and make your own chart as well to follow along. Okay, nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative, singular, plural, and then we make our chart with two columns, of course. Okay, so the following endings apply to the feminine and the masculine cases, and there's only minor changes for the neuter. Okay, so let me write that above. This is for feminine or masculine. Okay, so here are the endings. I'm going to draw a dash for the nominative because, like I just said, it's irregular. There's no expected endings. As you can see, in these third declension nouns, see this ended in N, pars, nox, rex. Although there are some patterns among them, like you'll find a few words that end in X, there's no expected ending, which is why we usually put a dash there, and you can just go ahead and put the nominative over there. Okay, from the dictionary entry. Okay, so nominative dash, genitive, is, dative, e, accusative, m, ablative, a, nominative is s, genitive is dative is ibus, accusative is s, and ablative is ibus again. Okay, so now I'll do the neuter endings. And again, they're very similar to masculine and feminine endings for the third declension. And just a reminder, if you remember in the last video, I mentioned how the neuter case, no matter what declension, the nominative almost always matches the accusative. So keep that in mind as we fill out our chart for the neuter third declension. So I'm just making my chart again. Pardon my not straight lines. And let me label that neuter. Okay, so the first ending will be the same same as it was for the masculine and feminine. Like I mentioned now a few times, that the ending for a nominative is unpredictable. It really depends on the noun, so you just have to look to your dictionary entry for the nominative. Okay, so genitive is is, dative is e, and then accusative, remember, I just said in neuter declensions, or the neuter gender, the nominative almost always matches the accusative. So what you're going to do is you're going to, here I'll draw a line. You're going to refer back to your nominative case, and you're going to copy that down for the accusative. Okay, so then your ablative is a again, or e. Okay, and then the nominative plural is again different. It's a, is the same, ibus is the same, and now here's where it's different again. Again, I said nominative accusative have to say the same, so then obviously it would be a. It has to say the same as the nominative in its own number. So if it's singular accusative, it matches the singular nominative. If it's singular plural, if it's accusative plural, then it matches the nominative plural. Okay, so a, ibus again. And like I did in the second declension video, I'm just going to circle all of the differences between them. Okay, so this will obviously, the word will be different. The nominative will end up being different, but there's no difference in the ending. You still just use the nominative. The difference comes in here with the M and the dash, and then they're the same again. And you can tell the nominative plural is different and the accusative plural is different as well. Okay, so well, you can tell again that the endings are the same for nominative plural and accusative plural as well. I just want to keep stressing that. So I'll now decline a masculine noun and a neuter noun, since masculine and feminine are pretty much the same. Well, they actually are the same, because the masculine and feminine have the same set of endings. So I'll draw my chart again. Actually, I'll just copy and paste this chart and fill in the endings. My bad, that didn't work. I'll just redraw my chart. Okay. Nominative, nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative, and I'll make another one for neuter. Nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. And just finishing off my chart. Singular, plural, singular, plural. Okay, so now let's just refer back to our nominative, our dictionary entry, And I'm just going to draw a box around the ones that we can decline. So I said I'll do a masculine, and I'll also do a neuter. So I'll do nomen, and I'll do rex. Okay, and I'll leave these endings in the frame so that you can refer back to them. Okay, so I'll just write it below the noun dictionary entry, rex, regis, and we can just go ahead and put down, we can remove our stem, or remove our ending, and then be left with our stem. And let me just write down the stem in everywhere except the nominative, because if you remember, we use the dictionary entry nominative for the nominative case. So reg, just over and over, so you can attach the endings. Okay, so, and then we'll put the rex in the nominative singular. Okay, so now let's attach our endings. Genitive is is, dative is e, accusative is m, ablative is a, nominative plural is s, and then it goes ebus. Oh, excuse me, I skipped the accusative. Didn't write enough regs. Reg for, I'll just write the whole word, regibus, reges, and then regibus for the ablative. Okay, so there you have it, a masculine example of declined in the third declension. And now we'll go back to the neuter, right here, we'll decline this one in the neuter. Okay, so I'll just write down the dictionary entry again so that you have it at your disposal. Nomen, nominis. Okay, so nominative is nomen, because it's the same in the dictionary entry, and we can just go ahead and copy down nominis. And see, I'm not removing the stem. We're starting to be more advanced now, so I'm just gonna, once you become more advanced, you'll be able to just list all the words for all the cases without removing your stem and attaching your endings. You can just do them in one big swoop. So nomen, nominis, nomini, and then for accusative, it's going to be the same as the nominative, nomen, and then nomine, nominative plural, nomina, nominum, nominibus, nominibus, nomina, nominibus. Okay, so I'm just going to put a star so that you can tell that the nominative and accusative singular identical, and the nominative and accusative plural are identical as well. Okay, so there you have it. That's third declension. And in the next video, we'll be talking about fourth declension. So until then, thank you for watching.